What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to my cybersecurity journey. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I passed my Comptia A+ Core 1 and Core 2 exams. If you're like me and you have zero experience in IT, the A+ certification can actually be pretty challenging. And it's challenging for a couple reasons. It is a entry-level certification that covers a very broad range of topics in the field of IT, which is partly why it makes it so challenging, because it covers a very large amount of material, very diverse amount of material. And if you have no background in IT like myself, then you have a lot of catching up to do. I studied for the Core 1 exam for probably around a month or so, probably a little over a month, and I studied for the Core 2 for about 2.5 weeks. So I'm going to talk about some of the resources that I used, and I'm going to give you guys some tips that I thought helped me get through this exam. The structure I think you should take in order to tackle this is to first watch a good course on the Comptia A+. The second is to start tackling as many practice tests as you can. I think this is the most important part. This is where you're going to do most of your learning. The course is going to help you get the fundamentals down, but you're not going to retain everything in the course. So I used Mike Meyer's course on Udemy. Udemy has frequent sales where you can get the course for $10 to $15. If you're on a really tight budget, Professor Messer has a free series on YouTube that is fairly good. And he also offers free study sessions on YouTube as well. I personally find the Mike Myers series more entertaining than Professor Messer, but to each its own, try them both. And then I really got into the practice exams and practice questions. The big two that I'm going to recommend are Professor Messer's practice exam questions and Jason Dion's practice exams on Udemy. You can get Professor Messer's practice exams on his website. I believe it's professormesser.com. He also offers a bundle package with some cliff notes. I did purchase the bundle and I did look at the cliff notes, but they're basically just his YouTube series slides just condensed into one PDF. So I don't think that's necessarily worth it. Just buy the practice exams. Those are absolutely gold. And you cannot underplay Jason Dion's practice exams on Udemy. I cannot stress how valuable these practice exams are. The reason that it's so critical is because they structure the questions very similar to how Comptia structures their questions. And if anybody here has ever taken a Comptia exam, they know just how weird Comptia structures their questions. So taking those Jason Dion exams will really help you get in the groove of handling the structure of those questions on the actual Comptia A+ exam. These aren't going to be the same exact questions that you're going to see on the exam. Nobody can offer you that. But I think that it covers the objectives very well, and I think that they mirror the Comptia A+ exam question style very well. I also use the IT and Cybersecurity Pocket Prep. It's $20 a month for that app, but I think it's really worth it. They have a bank of about 800 questions for the Comptia A+, but they also offer question banks for several other exams. I also used CertMaster. CertMaster was included with my program at WGU. If you can't get that for free, then I probably wouldn't recommend going and purchasing it, because I'm sure it costs a pretty dime. However, if you do have access to it for free, I would definitely recommend going on there and checking out the PBQs, which are the performance-based questions that are on the Comptia. I felt that they were the closest that you're going to find to the actual exam, and they give you a good idea of what to expect when you actually take the exam. And just as a side note, with those PBQs, which are the performance-based questions, these are basically simulations and scenarios that Comptia gives you and asks you to solve some sort of problem. A lot of people stress over these because they're not your typical multiple choice based questions and they don't really know what to expect. Just understand that if you know the material, then you're going to do just fine on the PBQs. Don't overthink it. Just learn the material and you will do just fine on those PBQs. So what are some general tips that I would also recommend to you? First and foremost, most important, focus on actually learning the material. Don't take these practice exams and just memorize the questions and answers on them. That's not going to help you. You have a vested interest in this. This is your future. You should be very excited to learn this material. Be open to it. Be open to learning all of this stuff. Because this is more than just a test. This is an opportunity to really expand your knowledge. So learn the material. Learn it. If something's confusing you, go on YouTube, watch multiple videos on it, get excited about it, and learn it. Don't just brush it off and say, well, hopefully I won't get it on the test. And really start hitting those practice exams as soon as you can. And really focus on, put a lot of time into those Professor Messer and Jason Dion exams. I felt like those helped me profoundly. Try to take the test early while your brain's still working. And if you do some studying the same day before you take the test, make sure it's just a real light study session to try to tune up the fine points. I didn't necessarily find one core exam harder than the other. Both were pretty challenging to me. I found that a lot of material from Core 1 kind of slips its way into the Core 2 exam, but the Core 2 exam was still pretty challenging. But that is it. That's all I have for you today. If you're taking the test soon and you have some questions for me, feel free to shoot me a comment below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I wish you all well in taking the exam. Let me know in the comments below how you did after you're done and if any of the resources or tips that I gave you helped. And I will see you all in the next video.